Been married 18 months, together for 6 years, and I 28M think my wife 27F is emotionally cheating on me and not actually willing to work on the relationship. Sorry for the long post. I'm happy to answer any questions or provide further details as needed, just ask. So things have been pretty rocky between my wife and I for several months. We had a rough 2020, didn't most of us? But I thought it was more due to the stress of my job, then COVID-19, then she lost her job and my job started getting worse as I felt a stressful anxiety to perform even better as the only income earner at the time. Then she started a new job and we sort of drifted apart. Early this year we had a talk about this where I expressed my sadness that we are so distant and haven't connected in a long time. We haven't been physically intimate in nearly all this time. In early April I commenced individual therapy and it has really helped me process my thoughts and feelings, and I've been actively trying to share those with my wife and be confident in being vulnerable and honest and genuine. She told me, however, that she feels like she is smothered and overwhelmed and needs space, which I've tried to respect and give to her. Through all of this, though, she's indicated that she does want to work on improving things with me and getting to a place where we can both be happy. So I've had hope that if I keep trying and putting in effort, things will move toward a better place. It hasn't. I don't know if anything I'm doing is helping or hurting. Giving space, trying to be more supportive of her, not trying to be controlling or restrictive. She still seems so far away. I find myself holding back things if normally be excited to tell her about because she gives off a vibe that I annoy and distract and bother her. I brought this up to her and how I felt like she's not putting in much effort from my point of view, and that I don't think there's a way to improve our relationship without actually spending time together talking about it and addressing it. She indicated that she had been trying and putting in effort for the past year and felt like I was the one who wasn't doing anything, and now she's kinda burnt out. I apologized and said I can't change what I did or did not do in the past, but I'm ready and willing and trying hard to fix things now, but I need her help too. She didn't have much to say to that. And because of the distance between us, I've started to notice how close she has gotten with a coworker of hers. A single guy, about my age. They see each other every day, go out to lunch almost every day, sometimes just the two of them, sometimes with others. My wife frequently stays late at work and, though not confirmed to me, I'm pretty sure he's always there too. They go out for drinks with coworkers and have attended soccer games together, just the two of them, and then gone out to bars, and I know they've gone over to his place till after midnight as well. This all makes me feel super uneasy and hurt. My wife doesn't do any of this with me. In fact, it seems like a chore to her to have to spend time with me. But she willingly and gleefully seems to adore being around this guy. I'll call him Mark for ease of reference. This has been happening since like early March at least. I didn't bring anything up then because 1. She even mentioned to me that she didn't want to make me sad by hanging out with Mark, but that he's a good guy and had never tried anything. 2. Things were starting to get rocky between me and her and I wasn't confident enough to assert myself. 3. I didn't want to feel like the jealous boyfriend type and tell her she can't be friends with a guy. Well, as things have deteriorated between us and I've observed her talking to him and spending what seems like most of her time with him, it's been hurting me more and more. I told her last week that they are making me uncomfortable. She asked, well, what do you want me to do about it? And I felt very strongly that she should be the one to decide what she wants to do with the information I give to her about my feelings on her closeness with Mark. She never suggested anything, just said that I can put my mind at ease about that, and it kinda tapered off into her accusing me of not trusting her. I told her that I do trust her to not do anything physical with him, but that I do not trust Mark because I don't know him. She seemed taken aback by that. After I told my wife that I was uncomfortable with her and Mark being together so much and their friendship or whatever it is, I felt very strongly that I shouldn't tell her what to do or anything. I didn't want her to feel controlled by me, but she also didn't propose anything to resolve this herself. The next few days I did notice she was at home more often and didn't go out for her usual drinks and happy hour with coworkers, which usually resulted in her spending extra time afterwards with Mark. I could tell she was sad and really down, and I ended up telling her that I want her to be happy and do what makes her happy, and I worry that she basically took that to mean that she should continue doing whatever she's doing with Mark regardless of my feelings. I've spoken with my therapist about my feelings on this and what I'm wary about and what is giving me pause and anxiety about my wife's friendship with her coworker. I told my therapist about how it makes me uncomfortable that my wife and Mark see each other all the time. That she chooses actively to spend more time with Mark than me. That she seems to constantly be texting him. That I've seen her sitting on the other couch near me, texting him long threads or continually chatting when I am lucky when she sends me 3 texts during the day. That she has on several occasions gone out drinking with him and then went over to his place and didn't get home until around 2 a.m. when he drove her home. That just last weekend she brought our dog over while she went out with some girlfriends and had Mark dog sit while I was out of town and didn't even tell me about that until after the fact. That she seems to be happier when she comes back from hanging out with him or when she's talking him. That reminds me of how she seemed and acted when we were first dating and getting to know each other, and that crushes me. I just have really weird gut feelings about the whole thing. From my perspective, which is the only one I have since she won't talk to me about this, I feel like lines have been crossed that should not be in a marriage. In fairness to her, maybe she doesn't think any boundaries have been broken. Or maybe she is towing the line and it's only a matter of time until stuff gets physical. I told my therapist that it hurt me when I explicitly told my wife last Sunday that her closeness with him is making me uncomfortable and uneasy. She immediately responded with, "Well, we are just friends, so you can put your mind at ease about that." And then immediately shifted the conversation to, "Well, what do you want me to do about it?" He's one of the few things that have brought me happiness and support lately, which absolutely crushed me. It doesn't feel to me like they are just friends, and I can't shake the weird feeling. And it makes me feel so bad and guilty to feel like this, because I want to give her the benefit of the doubt and not assume the worst, but also I feel like my feelings are valid and deserve to be respected too. Anyway, after I told her that I want her to be happy and do what makes her happy, this past Saturday night she went to a coworker's wedding with a big group. This has been planned for a while. It was a small wedding, and I didn't go. Mark was there. They all got super drunk together and then a DD brought her home at 1 a.m. and she was absolutely wasted, and while I was helping get her into bed and making sure she'd be okay, she just kept repeating over and over, "How's Mark? Is Mark okay? Did Mark get home?" And I said, "I'm sure he's fine. I don't have his number, you can find out tomorrow." Then she goes, "I know his number," and started saying my number. That hurt. Then she kept asking about how he was doing and if he was okay until she fell asleep. Now, a couple days out of that moment and still processing it, I feel even more like she's totally lost feelings and attraction for me, and that she's not just friends with this guy but is more emotionally invested in him than she's willing to let on or maybe even admit to herself. It's really hurting me and I can't get it out of my head, and my mind keeps wandering and assuming things, and I really want to have a real honest conversation about this with her, but I'm nervous that 1. It's going to come out as accusatory and interrogative on my part and make her super defensive and dismissive from the get-go, and 2. I get all hung up that I already shut the door on this issue and shouldn't rehash it with her because I already brought up that I'm uncomfortable with their dynamic, and then a few days later told her I just want her to be happy and do what makes her happy. I'm constantly hurting. There's a pit in my stomach. I don't have an appetite. I'm not sleeping. I'm losing weight. I can't focus or concentrate. I worry all the time about if she's flirting with him or texting him sexual stuff or hugging him, or if they cuddle when they're together, all things she doesn't do with me. I get angry because he's a single dude who also actively chooses to spend all his time with a married woman. What's in it for him? And then I feel guilty about feeling all this stuff. Anyway, I'd love some advice. I just want this hurt to stop. I want her to be honest with me. If she's done with us, then tell me. If she would rather be with him, then tell me. If she's emotionally cheating, I want her to know that, own it, and understand how it's hurting me. How can I broach this subject with her? Should I? How can I get some answers and definition about the dynamic between her and Mark, but not in an accusatory interrogative way? Is she emotionally cheating on me? How should I confront this? My therapist didn't really have suggestions for me beyond, yes, you should have this conversation and you should firmly know going into what your boundaries for a married relationship, even one that's rocky, are and what is and is not okay for your partner to do. I've confided in several close friends and my sister about the details I shared here, and every single one of them thought it was ducked up, even for my wife to be doing in a marriage where everything was okay. That makes me feel a bit more validated, but I still don't know the best way to go about initiating this conversation and having it be an open and honest discussion where my thoughts and feelings can be heard and where she doesn't immediately feel defensive and defective. Please help. I welcome any and all advice, comments, thoughts. And please be blunt. Feel free to DM as well. TLDR, based on my reading of others' experiences, and various articles, and my own feelings, I am concerned that my wife is emotionally cheating on me. I share examples in the long thread. My therapist and close friends who know the details all think that my wife's behavior is not okay, but am struggling with the best way to initiate a conversation with her that will be open and honest and productive. If she is emotionally invested in someone else, I don't think I want to continue being in a relationship with her. But I want her to tell me that so I can have some sort of confidence in making my decision moving forward, because right now I feel like I'm trying to stand still on shaking sands and am hurting, and it all absolutely sucks. Redditors' reactions. Redditor 1, this is going to be hard to swallow, but reading through your whole post I think it's more than emotionally cheating, and I think it's probably got physical. A large part of your story I have lived through. For the last 18 months I feared my wife was getting too attached to a male friend. At worst I thought she was emotionally cheating. We grew apart, I voiced my concerns to be told I've got nothing to worry about, I'm jealous, asking me if she is not allowed male friend etc. The truth was much worse, and she had been sleeping with him. Been told only on one occasion, but I think that is a lie as I only have proof of one night. It started off with Snapchat and I found out they had messaged each other every day for over a year, was told he was just a friend. I told her how uncomfortable I was with it and she did stop messaging him, I think. Then I said, look, if he is just a friend that's okay, I don't want to dictate who you talk to. Big mistake, and it then led to them falling for each other and ultimately sleeping with each other. Pensive face. The way she is reacting to you, the stuff she is doing and saying are all major red flags. I'm sorry you are going through this, and I know exactly how that awful feeling in the pit of your stomach is right now. If you want to chat and share thoughts or whatever, just PM me. Edit. If you sit down and talk about the subject again, do not expect her to suddenly admit anything. Without knowing you have proof 99 times out of 100 she will not own up to anything. Redditor 2, this is a physical affair. Your wife is cheating on you. Sexually. Virtually guaranteed. 2 a.m. drinking nights at his house, that's what this is. And even if it's not guaranteed, she owns the fact that she's making it look exactly like she's cheating on you. You need to pivot hard here. 1. Call up a lawyer and get to know what your rights are. Do this without telling her. 2. Tell your wife that you know she's cheating on you. Refuse to discuss it further. Just tell her that you know and you'll be acting on that knowledge. 3. Schedule an STD test for yourself. Do it openly. 4. Do not have time with your wife. 5. Ask your wife to sleep in another room. 6. Back up all information you have about this other guy. 7. Go dark on your wife. Refuse to discuss your relationship. Refuse to hear any excuses for her behavior. Refuse to answer any questions about what you know or how you know it. Refuse to engage in arguments about how she's innocent. Just walk away silently and emotionlessly. Do all that even if you want to reconcile. They are having time. You are watching her date and hook up with this guy. She does not care about you. She does not care about this marriage. Accept this and respond accordingly. Redditor 3, you can't be serious. They are having time and she has no respect for you. Get some respect for yourself. Throw her out, she can go live him and you can build your life. Redditor 4, I think that you think you are sensitive and thoughtful. I think you are afraid. Your wife does not want to tell you the truth because then something might have to change. And she is happy having you at home handling whatever it is that you handle, and she is happy having Mark for whatever she is using for him. I've read so much and thought about it so much, I actually do feel I'm an expert in cheating. To preface, this place is called Surviving Infidelity, and I think a fair number of people who post just don't have the mindset or skills to survive infidelity, not the way I define it. I think you have a few opinions about what is right and wrong that I wouldn't agree with. The way you handled it so far, I would say it's a combination of the ostrich method, stick your head in the sand, and the eggshells method, act as if you are walking on eggshells and you are terrified of breaking the eggshells, and the pick-me dance trying to get her to love you again. To compete, those methods just don't work. From your story, I suggest they are in a full physical and emotional affair. You could read 1,000 stories just like yours, with the cheater saying they wouldn't cross the physical line, that the betrayed just knows their spouse would never do that, and it turns out it was worse. That is by far the prevalent story here. To preface also, I think you are aware enough to know that people cheat in this world, people divorce, but I also think you are willfully blind enough to think that it never could happen to you because you and her were so right together. But who gets married without feeling that way? Maybe 5-10%. And how many cheat? How many divorce? So I think you have to recalibrate your thinking of specialness in this. The top sign of cheating is the hiding, guarding the phone. The cheater makes sure the betrayed never can have access to the phone. And frequently the cheater is with the phone so much that the phone seems like an appendage to the cheater's hand. As if surgically attached. Some even put the phone under their pillow at sleep, take it in the bathroom to shower. It is guarded. The second top sign of cheating is the cold, distant behavior. Sometimes, frequently, the cheater acts as if the betrayed is annoying. Sometimes the cheater criticizes the betrayed for things like how the betrayed eats, talks, sits, walks. The cheater seems annoyed, aggravated even to be in the presence of the betrayed. After all, when the betrayed is present, then the cheater is not able to do all that the cheater wants in contacting the affair partner. Cheaters want both the affair partner and the spouse. The affair partner is a romantic sexual relationship. The spouse is a co-worker in the household business, finances, chores. The spouse also gives respectability to the cheater as an upstanding, stable person. There would be quite a bit of damage to the ones who are close to the cheater if those people found out. The cheater cares about reputation. I think even with your ineffective is too weak a word, your method actually detracts from what you want to achieve: end the affair and reconcile the marriage. Methods of dealing with it, you must realize it's not working. I'm sure there are some counselors, therapists who know how to handle infidelity, but typically they do not. I think it is somewhat of a specialty. You have to ask. And it seems some therapists have the answers but want you to figure it out yourself. When all you want is the answer. The first thing you need is honesty. Your wife is not giving you honesty because it will hurt her. Lying gets what she wants. Telling the truth would likely make her change, which she is happy enough for now where she stands. Based on your description, I doubt your wife is going to pick you over Mark. I think she will get rid of Mark after she's gone down the road with all her options with him, that is, after she's left you and been with him a while. That may be a few weeks, a few months, or a few years. I think you have to re-evaluate whether or not you really want your wife, just based on how she willingly hurts you through her behavior. It's not like you have suffered in silence, though even if that was true, anyone could see that the way she acts is wrong and would hurt the spouse. But in your situation you've actually brought it up several times and she just basically doubled down. Maybe she gave you some lip service, but actions are really all that matters. I can tell you right now how much I love you and would never cheat on you and want to live happily ever after with you, but you wouldn't believe it because I've done nothing actions to prove it. Consider that your wife has changed, or allowed herself to be more into another part of her life, where she is more selfish, more self-centered, and less caring to those other people in her life, in particular for you. You can't treat her as if she is the same person she was when she first married you. You are not all that well acquainted with the wife that now lives in your house. So back to getting the truth. Wife won't give it. So get a pie. You'll have pictures and you'll know. It won't take long, just one date after work to a bar, one event together, and you'll have it. Situations come up in life where you have to spend money to fix them. The other thing you can do, which emotionally you may not be capable of, is to just lay it all on the table. Tell her you do not trust her. Tell her she can do whatever she wants, spend time whoever and how much she wants. She has full complete control over her life, but you also have the same control over yourself and you don't want to stay married like this anymore. Tell her you think she is cheating. Can she prove she is not? Can she show you her phone to see her messages? If she does give you the phone, if the messages are deleted, why? Why delete his messages but not everyone else's? So if the messages are deleted, tell her you need to see if the messages can be recovered. Listen, there is no way this ends without hurt feelings. You already have them. You already told her. She must realize, unless she is a complete clueless idiot, that her behavior would make any reasonable very suspicious about her behavior with Mark. You are justifiably suspicious. She should understand that. If she can't, then what can I say? Something is wrong with her if she can't understand why you wouldn't think she is cheating. Redditor 5, this isn't a possible affair, it's a whole-ass relationship. She doesn't respect you anymore or view you as a priority. I understand you love her, but it is incredibly naive to think anything less than S-time is going on. She's displaying all the falling in love stuff as well as already placing all the blame and effort onto you for the eventual blow-up. I'm actually getting deja vu from reading this post and typing this comment due to how many times I've read similar situations. You absolutely need to have this conversation, but it's likely to only push her affair and feelings deeper. She already thinks of herself as on a different team than you now. It's time to start focusing on yourself, cause bothering her isn't working. Get yourself right and do what you want in life, cause she's not thinking of your joint future, only her own. What I would do is give her ultimatum. Her choice will likely take a while and some prodding from you for her to actually make it. The first thing to do is ask her to cut him off in front of you. If she can't, you know your answer right off the bat and should immediately and calmly say, okay, I need you to leave then. Always remain as mysterious and calm as possible. When she tries to talk to you within 24 hours or so, tell her no, thanks, even if she says she told him goodbye, because what she would really mean is she worked out details of being more secretive with him and filled him in on you confronting her. In my opinion, nothing is really going to snap her out of this except separation and divorce. You can always backpedal, but these actions will very much shock her and wake her up a bit. It probably won't save the relationship, but it will let her know you are serious and draw attention to her bad actions. I'd also speak to her family and friends about it before she has a chance to, and name drop this guy and how many times you've asked her to stop seeing him. If you do separate, don't take her back unless she has a year of therapy under her belt. Not that I would take her back at all. She'll only want you once this guy is done with her and shows he isn't too serious about it all. Single men don't really want anything to do with a married woman except fun. That's part of the allure, no baggage, but you get CDS time she is too proud shy to do for her hubby. And you will never get the full truth from her. Don't be ignorant about that. Good luck. Don't forget to practice radical acceptance. Accept what you can't change. She is a bad wife, and change what you can. She's your bad wife.